Thanks for tuning in. My name is Devin DeLeon. Today I want to talk about my everyday carry camera. I've chosen the Leica Q. The Q3? No. The Q43? No. Not even the Q2, the original Q. I bought this camera last summer and honestly, I've been hooked. I wanted to check it out to see if maybe the Q2, like if I wanted to get a Q2 or if maybe even one day a Q3, just to see if I would like it. And I gotta be honest, I love it. I see absolutely no reason to update. Sure, there are very cool things on the newer cameras that would be nice. USB-C charging, I'm a big fan of that. I would really like that. It's so antiquated to have to put your battery into the charger and charge it into the wall. Who does that anymore? Well, unfortunately you have to do that if you want to shoot this camera, but that's all right. It's, you know, it's one of those little things. I can deal with it. I would say, speaking about batteries, the batteries for this camera, super tiny. You know, I think you can get like 300 photos or something out of them. I don't know. But I have 3 of them and they're super cheap. I'll post, you know, a link. They're so cheap. That's a nice thing. These days, you know, batteries are so expensive, especially compared to like the Q2 or Q3. They have that big old battery, which I'm sure is great in practicality, but if you can just buy like 2 or 3 cheap batteries, you're good to go. Minus all of the modern amenities of this camera, which came out in 2015, you're not missing much. Is the autofocus great? I'd say it's really good. I'd say it's really good. The face detection on here is great. I actually had a Fujifilm X100T that I shot with. That was my everyday camera for years. You know, I just throw it in my bag, go, and then go shoot on the streets or do whatever. But I would say the thing in that camera is the autofocus is pretty slow, and it, you know, it shows its age. Even though it is a really good camera and takes great images, I was actually very surprised when I got this out of the box, how snappy the autofocus is. Is it 2025 modern snappy? No, but it's really good. I think you would be really surprised to see how good the autofocus is on here. I even put it in face autofocus and it captures, it works. I can hand it to my girlfriend, she can take photos of me with it. It's so easy to use. And I'm a slow shooter. I feel like I should mention that because lately I've been selling a lot of gear and somebody said like, hey, this lens, it's really slow. And I said, oh, I wouldn't really know. I don't shoot in autofocus continuous. I shoot in single. I'm like very slow. I'm very just like from the film world. I'm just compose and, you know, not, you know, spray and pray as some other folks are. And that's fine if you are. Like there's all types of shooting, all types of photography, and whatever works for your workflow works for your workflow. I personally just like hate going through a million photos that I don't like, so I'd rather just get the one right photo. So that's why I shoot the way I do. I would say a con to this camera, like versus like an X100, which I really don't think you should compare these cameras, but for the sake of argument and for the sake of point and shoot argument, the lens is bigger on this camera than an X100, but it's worth it because this lens is crazy good. It's one of the best lenses I've ever shot with. 28 millimeters Summilux, goes to 1.7. I think, and I've read on this on forums, that it's really more like a 26 millimeter, but they call it a 28. I really couldn't tell you the difference. It's amazing. There is like a slight distortion I've kind of noticed, but once you figure out how to use the lens and how to shoot with it, that's never going to be an issue for you. And plus, just hit that little level button in Lightroom or Capture One and you're good to go. So I couldn't tell you a con on this camera. I mean, obviously, like I said, it's old, the lens is bigger. So I guess maybe for an everyday camera, maybe you want something smaller, but I've just been bringing this. I just throw it in my bag every day. I bring it with me everywhere, shoot, and it's very, very easy. Before this, I shot with an M10 and I still have an M10, but that was kind of my everyday camera because, you know, once I bought that camera, like I felt like that was going to be the last camera for me. But what I came to realize is that because I wear glasses, shooting wide with an M10 poses issues for me. I'm a stickler for composition, so, you know, if you have a 28 on there, it's a little tough with the glasses to see the entire field. Even shooting with a 35, I have trouble shooting, you know, with the 35 on there because my glasses, I can't just stick my eye right up to the viewfinder. I have to, there's like a little space and it's enough space to throw things off. So I find the best lens for me on an M10 is a 50 millimeter and I'm great with that on there. I can compose well, I you know, I kill it with that. But I don't always want to shoot with 50, you know, I like shooting wider. And so that's why I borrowed my buddy John Hendrick, shout out. I borrowed his Q for a day. We walked around downtown, shot, and I was shocked by how much I loved the Q. He had the QP, no longer has that, but all good. I was blown away. I probably went home that night and bought this little puppy off like KEH or MPB. I guess we got to a con price, but I kind of think you know what you're getting yourself into when you buy Leica. It's expensive, but I will say, having bought and sold multiple things of Leica, they hold their value. Nothing like my Sonys did not hold their value at all. They're like so cheap now, nobody wants to pay for them. And they put out a new camera every 6 months. And we're actually filming on a Sony, but who cares, right? Because blah. But I will say, this camera came out 10 years ago, and I just Googled it. It's going for like $2,500 on KEH. That's about what I paid for this as well. So, you know, 6 months later, still going for the same price. I think it is worth checking out if you have the money. I say give it a shot, because try it for 3 months. If it's not for you, it's not for you. You'll make your money back. And that's something you can get with Leica that you can't get with many other camera manufacturers. I feel like other camera things, it's like your car. When you buy that car and you drive off the lot, it's already diminished like 50%. Not Leica's. Something I have noticed is Leica has the best color science, in my opinion. For my workflow, I use Lightroom and Capture One. Files from these cameras are great. You get DNG files, they're great. For all those reasons, I picked this camera as my everyday camera for 2025. It's basically been my everyday camera since 2024, but just kind of putting that out there. If you have any questions about the Q, if you're on the fence, feel free to reach out to me. You can shoot me an email at devindelionphoto@gmail.com. Hit me up on Instagram, you can find me there. Hit me up on YouTube, you know, there's so many ways. Just shoot me a message. I'm an open book. I have a personal page on Instagram. I'm posting my like daily life photos of Devin DeLeon Photo too. And it's Devon with a bunch of N's at the end. I think it's 5 or 6, but Devon. I might change that, who knows? But for now, that's where it's at, and you can find photos I take with this and my M10. If you're in Texas, you're in town, hit me up, grab coffee, do some shooting. This will be my everyday camera of 2025, and I can't wait. We'll see you soon. Bye.